No hay casi vocabulario, simplemente la capital es Hargeisa y el Golfo de Aden, Gulf of Aden, es Golfo de Aden en español también. ¿Vale? ¿Estáis listas? ¿Vale? Todo el mundo tiene la cámara apagada, así que voy a ello. For as long as I can remember, I have been a geography enthusiast. As a child, I loved learning the capitals of the world's countries. I loved looking at rivers, mountains, caves, and bays on the atlas. At school, we started learning geography quite early. We were around 10. We started first with Spain, and then we moved on to America, Africa, Oceania, and Asia. I excelled at every single exam, so eventually my parents had no other option but to buy me two huge world maps. One was for Spain and the other was indeed a world map. However, I grew up. We moved houses and I had to get rid of my worn-out maps. I was lucky enough to save one, the world map, and it is now hanging in my bedroom's wall at my grandparents' house up north in Spain. My grandma, who, as I guess must be like every grandma in Spain, is unable to find her way around Google Maps. So she regularly uses the world map in my room to find out in which corner of the world I am. As a cartography lover, I read every article related to geography that comes my way. A few months ago, I came across an article by El País talking about a country that wasn't on my school's list, a country I had never heard of. Any guesses? I am referring to the Republic of Somaliland. Somaliland is a self-declared state. It lies northwest Somalia on the southern coast of the Gulf of Aden. It is bordered by the remainder of Somalia to the east, Djibouti to the northwest, and Ethiopia to the south and west. Its claimed territory has an area of around 176,120 square kilometers, with approximately 4 million residents. The capital and the largest city is Hargeisa, with a population of around 1,500,000 residents. Before Somalia became Somalia, it was comprised of the British and Italian colonies of Somaliland. It was only after World War II, in 1960, that the two territories united to create the independent Republic of Somalia. The seeming peace didn't last long, and in the 1980s, a civil war broke out. Subsequently, in 1991, the Somali National Movement, a government opposition group, secured the region comprising the former British Somaliland. In May 1991, they announced that the 1960 federation was no longer valid and declared the region to be an independent state, henceforth to be known as the Republic of Somaliland. Since declaring independence in 1991, Somaliland has achieved a level of peace and stability beyond the wildest dreams of the quasi-government in Mogadishu. Yet, remarkably, throughout the many years the international community has funded, fed, and sought vainly to stabilize Somalia, it has studiously ignored the peaceful and democratic polity to Somalia's north. Of course, Somaliland has not always been so stable, and Somalia has not always been so chaotic. Even now, critics say that the Somaliland government can be repressive and inefficient, and the mental health hospital in Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland, seems to be the evidence of both. There, patients are chained to their beds in dark, smelly rooms. However, Somalilanders are quick to point out that at least they have a mental hospital, which the more populous South does not. Their steady, underdog efforts to sculpt a functioning state from the ruins of war seems to dispel the notion that Somalia is an inherently ungovernable, warlike place. Together with the lack of international recognition and the subsequent lack of funding and investments in the region, climate change poses an ever-growing threat to this self-declared state. About 8 years ago, the rain pattern became more and more unpredictable. In the past year, due to the lack of water, trees, crops, and livestock have started to die, forcing over 600,000 farmers to abandon their villages for the city in search of a better life. Studies conducted by Santa Barbara Climate Risk for the Thomson Reuters Foundation have concluded that average daily maximum temperatures in Somaliland have increased by about 1 degree over the past 30 years, reaching 34 degrees Celsius. At the same time, there has been a notable increase in the number of dry seasons. In 20 years, the rainy season from March to May has only been good on 3 occasions. However, for all its serious problems, it is hard to argue with Somaliland's relative success. Perhaps this is the bigotry of low expectations, but whatever negatives you can say about the place, it is not Somalia. With little help from the outside, Somaliland has had to do an awful lot on its own and arguably done it better than many of its recognized counterparts.